Saturday, late July. I'm going to be harvesting, I think these are russet potatoes. What happened was there was pieces of potatoes that were left in the soil last year, and they grew this year. I hadn't put any in the soil, and this is the soil. A lot of it has there's some coconut coir that's mixed in with it, and it's just backyard soil that I screened. And I'm going to be harvesting potatoes. I'll show you how many potatoes I'm going to get this year from my potato pool. So anyhow, stay with me and I'll show you. I'm going to be digging up my potatoes. Here's one potato. You can see it. Maybe I should just put this over here. You can see these potatoes in here. There's two potatoes. And all these potatoes that you're seeing have come from these potato plants that are they're pretty much, it's the end of the season. And I'll show you these. I'm getting really good results. Otherwise I wouldn't make a video. But I'm only going to make this video because I believe I've gotten really good results this year from my harvest. Yeah, excellent. If you have a chance, grow your own potatoes. They're real easy to grow, and they do grow in a variety of climates and regions too. If you live in a cold region, or even in the soil, sandy loam soil, you can grow potatoes. It's probably one of the easiest things to grow that there is. Little potatoes, mini ones, big ones and little ones. So there's a lot of varied sizes in these russets. I know you could probably say, you know what? It's a lot cheaper just to go to the grocery store and buy a bag of potatoes. They're only like $2 or $3. You get a 5-pound bag. But for us people that like to grow their own food, and if you're thinking of starting a garden and you don't know what to start with, you want to do something easy. Get a potato and let it get eyes on it. Just keep it in a shelf in a dark area, and it'll grow little eyes on it. And then you can cut it in sections and cut that section out and put it in an inch or two under dirt in the early or late spring, and it will grow into a potato vine like this. And then the tubers come out and grow out on the root system of the potato plant. And you can grow them in containers too. And as they're growing, what you want to do is pile dirt up on top. So as they grow, you pile up more dirt a little bit at a time, and it'll make the tubers grow out. It'll start a spot. Those tubers will grow out on that spot, and it works pretty good. I mean, they're easy to grow. And like I was saying, a lot of people would say, yeah, you're wasting your time. You could just go to the store and buy, for $2 you could buy a 5-pound bag. But hey, you know what? Growing your own food, there's a certain amount of joy, and it gives you a sense of satisfaction that you're growing your own food. And you think about the supply chain too, how far your food is coming. If they grow potatoes in Idaho and you live in Florida, or you live far away, then that's all that fuel and energy had to be spent to get the potato to your plate. So you're having a less of a carbon impact. Your carbon footprint is lower because of that. And there was the seed. That was a seed potato right there. I'm kind of a little bit early for this. See how they grow off the root like that. A lot of people think potatoes are from Ireland, and actually the potato is originated in Peru. This has a little bit. This has been in the ground a long time. I'll just set that aside. That was a seed right there. But actually, yeah, potatoes come from Peru. They're not an Irish They didn't originate in the European, northern European area. So the other thing about potatoes is in the wintertime, you can store the potatoes in a cool, dry place as long as it's, you know, the temperature doesn't get warm, and if it stays cool and dry, they will last. You can store them for a long time. Come on, there's more in here. There they are. There's 2 more here. So what I did here, this was a kiddie pool I bought a few seasons ago, and it got a hole in it. So I just filled it with screen my soil. If you see my other videos, I do screen the soil around here because it has a lot of cobbles in it. A lot of people wonder, well, you must have lived on a riverbed if you have a lot of these cobbles, which are stones, smooth stones. And what actually happened was, over thousands of years ago, when there's glaciers in here in Washington, the glaciers were probably exceeded a mile in height at where I'm at right now. And during that time, the glacier would actually would scour the land and break off pieces of chunks of rock, and then it smoothed it down over time. The water and the force of ice would actually break the rocks apart and smooth them down into the smooth cobbles that they're in. So people say, well, you must have lived near a river. Well, there was a lot of ice here at that time. And there's the potato that grew, see? But I won't use that. That's just, yeah. I'll use the ones that grow off of that because they're fresh. I thought I had more, but they hide in here, you know. You leave them in there. If I left them in the dirt over the season, by next year I would have new potato plants. And I think what's going to happen is I'll leave some behind, and they will. You know, there's something about putting your hands in the dirt. I mean, a lot of people wear gloves, and I guess if you're dirt, you don't know what's in it, right? If you got whatever's in your dirt. But if you know your dirt is clean, then you should be able to just put your hands in it and not be squeamish about that. No, it's a good soil. I'll be able to use this soil next year for planting. Yeah, I thought I had more potatoes in that. Maybe they're hiding. Yeah, but I do. I have another area in my yard where I'm growing other potatoes. I'll leave some in here for next year. There's one. So this was like almost zero effort to grow these potatoes. They just grew here. I didn't intend them. There was no, just keep them watered and then cover them with a little dirt once in a while if they get exposed. And that was what I did this summer. They don't need, and you can let them grow out like a vine and not worry about having them put them up on a trellis or anything like that. They'll spread out on the ground and grow pretty good. So that's it looks like the squirrels have been putting their peanuts here too. Let's talk about backyards. And you know what? If you're somebody that likes wildlife, you like seeing birds, and you care about the well-being of animals, then you should make your backyard a sanctuary for animals. Have bird feeders and water places where birds can get water that circulates fresh water, or have a little fountain, and take care of the critters, and you'll notice things happen. Like I've noticed, because now I'm feeding squirrels pretty regularly, that I don't have, they grow, little Douglas fir trees are growing in my pots, and I never noticed that before until I started feeding the squirrels. The other thing I noticed with my cherries this year is that because I had bird feeders out, and after the cherries bloomed and they were still unripened fruits, those trees weren't getting the insects that I had last year. All the cherries that I ate had no worms in them, so I was really happy with that, and I think that's the result of the chickadees and the other birds picking the insects off of the trees, so that their fruits weren't, the insects weren't getting into the fruits. I'm hoping my apple trees, the moths, because we get a worm that burrows into the apple, and it's a moth, and I'm hoping, well, I'm using bird feeders a lot, the birds will had pecked them off before their fruits matured. Yeah, that looks like pretty much my potatoes. Accidental potatoes. Back from a backyard soul. Signing off. You will see me in the future if you want to. Bye now.